Okay. Hello, Susan Fox, and welcome
Hello.
to Sound of Your Soul, hosted by Quiva Foy. Now,
Hello.
I appreciate you coming on, and I'm thrilled to actually talk to you about your ghost dolls.
Yes. I brought along some friends.
Very good. I love them all.
Yeah.
And what is a particular doll that like would draw you to connect to?
Well, what I do really is I do a lot of like thrift shopping and secondhand stores and antiques and flea markets and things like that. And whenever I see, there's plenty of dolls around, but they're not all haunted.
Okay.
But quite a few of them are. So what I do when I see one, a lot of times I'll feel drawn to a particular doll. So what I do when I'm out shopping is I take my little handy pendulum with me,
Very nice.
you know, and then I can I know I probably look crazy to passersby, but I can check for activity and find out if the doll's active or not.
Very
Then
nice.
usually what I do at that point is I'll bring the doll home. Some of them are quite insistent, actually. Sometimes I've
Okay.
paid more than I want to because they can be very persuasive when they want to come with me. But then I bring the dolls home, and then I have like a whole sort of interview process that I go through with the dolls.
Wow. And can you tell me more about the interview process that you would do?
Yeah. So what I do is, dowsing rods. I don't know if everybody's familiar with dowsing rods.
Yes.
Um, they're very good for yes and no questions. So I can ask them, if they want to talk to me. Nah, I'm getting yeses already.
Very
They
good.
generally have a lot to say. So I do the dowsing rods, I do the pendulum, and then I'll move to a Ouija board.
Wow.
Um, with the Ouija, what I usually get is a name.
Okay.
And a lot of times I'll get like some dates, maybe a death date or a birth date, that kind of thing. So then what I do is I'm a medium and I have some psychic abilities.
Okay.
I'll start off with what I call my intuitive free writing. So I'll just take a pad and a pencil and I'll start to sketch. And sometimes I'll get words and sometimes I'll get pictures. And then I sort of go into, I guess you could call it a trance. I don't know. I sort of start to view things. And it's not like watching a video. It's more like a dream. And a lot of times when I come out of it, a little of it is hard to remember like a dream as well.
Okay.
It's not like watching a movie. But so usually what the ghost will give me with that is like a life review. So I'll kind of get little what they want to show me, pieces of their life and their experience. And then a lot of times it'll take me up to the time of their death. And then the dolls and I can just sort of converse afterwards about what they would like, if they'd like to be rehomed with someone, what kind of family they're looking for. I kind of feel like I'm a conduit to kind of connect people with the spirits. Spirits are lonely. A lot of them, they like to be involved in life, especially and these are spirits too that haven't crossed over for one reason or another, and sometimes we discuss that as well.
Very nice. And could you tell me a bit more about the Ouija board? Like, I mean, people would say the Ouija board, oh, I wouldn't go near the Ouija board because it'll bring bad spirits in, or I'll be
Mm.
possessed by, spirits that are crawling in rooms or caves.
Mm. I would agree. A Ouija board isn't just for everybody to take off with. A lot of it's about intention, and having the strength of faith and character
Mhm.
to only allow in the things that you want to be part of your experience. So I always set forth with any of these tools, with an intention that, only good things come through. Now, ghosts, they're just people.
Yeah.
So there are good people and there are bad people, and there are good ghosts and there are bad ghosts. And, so I do encounter some very nasty characters from time to time. A lot of the ones who are still on this side that haven't crossed over, can kind of tend to be the bad ones because they're the ones who are afraid to go face their final judgment. So a lot of them stay over here out of fear. So, I do tend to find a lot of those, which people who are interested in paranormal, they like them. I have a lot of people that like I have one buyer that really likes serial killer dolls. So anytime I come across one, she wants to know about that. But and then too, there are lots of good ones too that offer protection and company and that kind of thing. Even some looking for love and romance, which is
Very
strange.
good. Oh my God.
Yeah, we could actually do I have succubus spirits too, and they're the ones looking for romance and more. And we could do a whole show on that sometime. They're
Yeah, of
interesting
course.
of
Yeah,
themselves.
definitely. I
Yeah.
would be definitely like. I see you have like the Annabelle. I think I see. Is it? That's not Annabelle though. That's with the red hair. Sorry, with the red.
Yeah. That's Lucy. She's a rag doll. She's rather on the negative side. She
Okay.
was actually in her story. She had been an orphanage doll and been passed around to a lot of children and was having quite a bad influence. The nuns at the orphanage kind of caught on to the fact that maybe there was something negative attached to the doll. And they got with someone out of their church who was known to be gifted and have some psychic gifts, and they bound the spirit. So she's here. She's still bound under the name of the nuns, but she does talk to us, and she's one of the ones up for adoption for people who like
I
who like.
love it.
I have a few others that I can kind of
Yeah.
give you ones I thought had some interesting
Yes,
stories.
please do.
Sometimes this guy's more of kind of a toy, but
Okay.
he's a doll. He's a rubber doll, and he's called Blue Boy. And what happened with this doll is there was a man who he was in his late 20s, and he and his wife were getting ready to have a baby. And they were kind of having a playful argument back and forth about whether it was going to be a boy or a girl. And they were doing a lot of teasing. Of course, he wanted a boy and she was hoping for a girl. I believe he had even started to paint the nursery blue as sort of a joke. But anyway, he was coming home from work and he saw a toy store and he stopped in and he saw this, and he thought it was the perfect thing to just sort of tease her with, right? So he bought this doll and was headed home to her and was in a fatal accident and died.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when she came out to claim items and stuff, she found this, and she knew, of course, what it meant. So she kept this, and then they did have a boy, and she gave the toy to the little boy, and she named him after his dad. So they called him Junior, and he kind of gave the doll the name Blue Boy. So
Oh,
he goes by the name Blue Boy. So what happened when Junior was about 4? His mom got a new boyfriend. And this guy acted really nice in front of his mother, but was really nasty when she wasn't looking, and mean to Junior, right? So Junior was playing with some toys, and he always sat Blue Boy to, he talked to him a lot. And, he was possessed by the spirit of his father. So he was watching over him, and, he got to watch his son grow that way, So this boyfriend, the little boy accidentally hit him in the head with the ball, and it made him very angry, and he started to hit the little boy. Well, this was all happening at the top of a staircase, and the boyfriend ended up at the bottom of the staircase, and the mother came home, and the little boy was crying, and her boyfriend had broken his neck and he was dead. And the little boy, when the police came, told him that Blue Boy had pushed Junior down the stairs when he was hitting him.
oh my God.
So now Blue Boy is in this realm, and he wants just to protect children and women and to watch over them. So he wards off evil spirits, and that's sort of his story.
Oh, very nice. I
Yeah.
find that incredible. Wow. I mean, all these dolls have stories, and it's just incredible how many stories that each doll has.
Yeah, I mean, we all have a story,
Yes, we do.
and
We
we
do.
all want to share it, and they're the same way, they still want to share their story.
I love it. I
Um,
really do.
This one, her name is Persephone. Okay. And she was 7 years old in 1912. Okay. She had sisters and she slept in the same bed with her sisters, and she got a really bad respiratory infection. And, back then healthcare wasn't so great, and she died. So back then, photography wasn't like it is now. A lot of people couldn't afford pictures. They didn't get pictures. This family didn't have any pictures of Persephone. So they called for the photographer, but he was a few days away. So actually, Persephone stayed in the bed with her sisters, dead, for 3 days, waiting for this photographer to come.
Oh,
So during these 3 days, the light, had came and was beckoning her, but she was confused. She didn't really understand that she was dead because she was still in bed with her sisters. She just thought maybe she was still sick. So she ended up staying on this side, and then the photographer came, and this, wasn't unusual. They did post-mortem photography. And so there were lots of kind of gruesome pictures of her posed with her family and alone, so that the family had something to remember her by.
wow.
So that's kind of her story. The thing with her is when I can see her sometimes in a reflective surface.
Yeah.
I see Persephone, not the doll, and it's kind of a morbid apparition. It's a very scary apparition. She has like rotting flesh, and it's very gruesome. But I don't think she realizes that, so I try to love her anyway. But so that's the story of Persephone.
That's interesting. Oh my God. I'm just
Mhm.
like blown away by all these dolls you have.
Mhm.
It's amazing. And like, I mean, like, like if you were connecting with a doll, can you feel their spirit? Or can the doll feel your spirit? When you,
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the reason why they beckon to me sometimes when I see them in stores and things, that they can tell when you're sensitive and when you can hear them, and they get excited sometimes to have somebody to talk to.
yeah,
Um,
wow. And
mhm.
like, and then like, do you know the way people will have like, for if they're paranormal, they would have the a device near them, and then they'll pick up and say, okay, um, they will talk into a microphone saying, "Are
Yeah,
you?"
a
Um,
spirit box. Yeah, I am kind of old school. I guess I just use the things I'm comfortable with, which, like I said, is the pendulum, the dowsing rods, the sometimes tarot, the Ouija board. But I think it's very interesting. I see a lot of people, and a lot of people who buy my dolls are doing the like talk boxes and the cat balls, and these different toys that they interact with. And I think it's really interesting. And maybe at some point I may start to play with some of that. But as of now, I'm just still sticking to my old ways and what I
that's
know works for me.
That's perfectly fine. I think that's amazing. I mean, people have
Mhm.
different ways of connecting with dolls and different ways of connecting with other things, and your way is perfectly fine, like, and their way is perfectly fine as well. Um and do the dolls give you signs like if they're going to talk to you, or do you hear them in your head, or is it telepathically, or I draw it, yeah. Or do you know?
It's almost for me more of like a yearning, almost like I just feel drawn to them. And you know how, like, if you've ever been in a room and you have your back to the door and you can tell someone walked in,
Yes.
even though you didn't see him and you didn't hear him, you can just kind of feel that energy. It's the same thing. I could just look over at a table full of things or dolls, and I can tell, I can feel the energy of them.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm glad they don't really just speak to me audibly a lot, because that would be very distracting. And
I
I often say that the psych wards are filled with people who are just gifted, because we do seem odd to other people. So
Yeah, I
I
agree.
do hope
Yeah.
that happens.
Like
Yeah.
I had a doll ages ago, and like she was bigger than myself, like when I was younger, and I called her Anne. and
Mm,
she had long blonde hair down to her shoulders. And I used to hug that doll all the time and go, Anne, Anne,
mhm.
Anne. Now I don't know
Yeah.
where she is anymore. Somewhere in the attic somewhere, I don't know where. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I used to like, and I never had a doll before.
Mm,
This is my doll, and I was going, Anne, 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 so I don't know
mhm.
where she is. So
You
hopefully,
should dig her out and we could check her,
yeah,
we could
okay.
talk to her. And I mean, a lot of times children will have imaginary friends.
Yeah.
I had a lot of that as a child too. And looking back, I know that that was not so much imagination.
Yes. Right. I mean, yeah, it was really good. That was my first doll, and I was like going, wow. But that was, yeah, and then I had teddy bears.
Hmm. Yeah, and sometimes other toys are haunted. I just recently had a telephone, a toy telephone
Ew.
that was haunted. So that was interesting. And from time to time, I mean, other objects can become vessels. But
Yeah.
from what I gather from a lot of the ghosts that I talk to, they like the form of the doll because it feels familiar. It gives them a boundary. It feels human. So they tend to be drawn to the dolls for that reason. A lot of them like that.
Very nice. And like,
Mhm.
how many dolls would you collect or sell in?
I I probably have between 50 and 60 for sale right now in my eBay online store. It's called Haunted Playthings
The
on
plaything?
eBay. Um, I have many more dolls that I still need to interview. It takes some time. It takes a little bit out of me to do it. So one a day is about the limit.
And
So I don't like to do more than that.
and how
Depending on
many?
their stories, sometimes I'll feel a lot of those emotions, and especially when they're showing me their death review. It can be very emotionally taxing.
Oh wow! And how long? I mean, how long would the interview with the doll take to do? Or
It just kind of varies from doll to doll. Sometimes it's very quick and then other times it could drag out, 30 minutes or more.
that's
Yeah.
incredible, like. And
Mm.
I have a question here. Do ghosts and dolls refer certain people or energies?
Ask again in another way. I'm not sure I understand.
Do ghosts do ghost dolls I should say dolls or should I say
Mhm.
ghost
Yeah,
do
I'm
dolls do dolls refer certain people and then certain
yeah.
energies that would match their frequency or the person who's I'm trying to say who's going to interview them or
Mm.
talk to them.
I
Do,
feel like, like I said, I feel like I'm a conduit sometimes. So I'm just the almost like a matchmaker in a way. So, I can get the doll to the right home. And there are people who just have loved their collections and love their dolls, and some people have a lot of different kinds, and some people maybe just like children, and some people maybe like scary dolls.
yeah.
But so I just try to connect people
Okay.
that way.
Good. Very good. And like I know a lot of people probably online would look for, as you said, look for haunted dolls
Mm,
and they'd bring them home and go, oh my God, this is great, this is great.
mm,
I'm like, they're going,
mhm.
okay, but it is exciting, it is new and it is fresh. And they go, oh, and they get probably so overwhelmed with like how to connect and like, they said this and they said that. And how would you react to them like if that would happen? If that happened to someone.
Yeah, I do find sometimes people, they're very excited when they get their doll, and sometimes they're a little disappointed that things don't start to happen real quickly.
Yeah.
But there's a period of time where I mean, it's just like if you go into someone's house for the first time, you're probably not gonna um, you know trust and know them and share as much of yourself as you would after you've known them for a while.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It takes a little while for them to get to know you, your intentions, to feel safe, and then they'll start to see the activity.
Very good. Wow. And then when they see the activity, and I know that you don't you don't like the bleeping sound, like, it'll go bleep, 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 bleep. and then they'll don't talk, and they'll put. I know that some people would, put a blindfold on and then like get the spirit of the doll talking through them.
Mm.
If I don't know if that makes sense to you. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah. A lot of mediums work that way. I, possibly I could do that. That's about a lot of trust and
yeah.
surrender on my part,
Okay.
so I probably feel better about it going on to paper.
Yes. Okay. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
the
That's
way
fair
that
enough.
I've worked.
That is fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know. I've seen it. I know I've seen it on YouTube, and I was going. I was fascinated, and I was going, "Oh, okay." But I mean, that as you said, there has to be trust. There has to be trust when
Mm,
you actually connect with a doll, because if there's no trust, there's nothing going to happen. Absolutely
right.
nothing. So
Right. And I'll tell you, some of them are deceptive and they're tricksters. And, some of the, especially the not so nice dolls, they'll come across as being really super nice. So a lot of times if I feel like they're super saccharine sweet, I will kind of take a
not.
step back and delve a little deeper because,
I, it's
sometimes it's not what it seems at first.
no, it's not. It's not. It's not always. No way. Because I
Mhm.
know I've seen. I know the reason why I pointed to the doll with the red hair is because I was there going. She reminded me of Annabelle, the haunted doll,
Mhm.
and I know that wasn't right. So,
Mhm.
but like, did you ever?
It is the same type doll, I think,
Yes, yes.
that Annabelle.
And did you
Yeah.
did you ever see Annabelle?
No, but I would love to. That would be really neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like I know that she's in a case, and everyone is afraid to go near her, like, so, and it's just like sometimes it can be silly, because I mean you're there going like it's a doll and it's in a case, but
Mm,
it's not, I don't know how to say, powers. I don't know if that's the right word to choose. If you're talking to a doll, powers, like, and then like,
mm.
if they touch the case, go, oh, la 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 la. But I mean, it's terrible.
Mm.
Just looking at the doll, it's okay. Like, you don't need to take her out of her case and like hold the doll, because I think,
Right.
yeah, it's just to,
Yeah, some energies like that, there are different ways to bind the energy, to contain it, to set boundaries, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of different ways, and I think that they're all right. I think it's all about the intention
yeah.
that goes behind it. For me, I've put them into a black bag and tied them shut,
Mhm.
with the intention that that was going to bind their energy, and it does. And some people use the locked boxes as well.
Good.
It's just a little harder to come by the box and the lock and all that. So the black bag works really well for me.
That's good. That's very good. That's a really good insight. That's very, wow.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I know
like a black pillowcase, a lot of times that'll work really well.
yeah, pillowcases. Wow. And like when you get these dolls, and when you have these dolls, would you put them into a black pillowcase all the time when you buy them, and then just leave them for like a day? I don't know, or would you no.
I think I'm just more trusting than that. You know, uh, like I said, I do some things to, prayer and things to keep my house clean. You know what I mean? And to try to disallow that kind of energy to come in.
Okay.
So generally, once it makes itself evident to me, then I'll do something with it. But coming through the door, just like people, I like to offer some trust.
Right,
You
right.
can't really live in fear, I guess, is
No,
what
you
I'm saying.
can't. No, like I
Yeah.
mean, it's you have a beautiful collection, really, really do. And I admire I think it's an owl. The
Oh,
white.
up here. Yeah, that's some of my props that I use for my eBay store for pictures and things.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Like, and can you, and like, is that, would that be a protector of your dolls, or is that I don't know how to say it, your animal that will protect, I don't know.
There, there are some protective spirits like that, and but yeah, this one, no, he's not. He doesn't have anything special with him. I just like the way he looked.
Why? He's
This
gone.
girl is new, and I haven't interviewed her yet. I got her yesterday,
Wow.
but she is just has such a creepy vibe. I don't
He
know how
does.
well it transmits there.
Eyes are just,
Something about her stance and her eyes,
that's what
and
I said.
just
Yeah, her eyes.
I'm very interested to see what she has to tell me.
Yeah.
She's an interesting one. So I will probably sit down with her today, and we'll have a bit of a conversation and see what
Yes.
happens with her.
Her eyes just like were are just like just so wide.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
she's got a hunch. Like it's like she has no neck.
Yeah, maybe a lot of it is the dress. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she's
So
interesting.
she is interesting. Wow. Yeah.
This little guy, his name is Robert. He was a peeping Tom and got
No,
himself in some trouble that way. That
God, no.
was an interesting story.
Oh, very nice. There. I love it. I love your collection. And
Thank
like
you.
they're really nice. And I know like did you ever okay, so did you ever get a doll which would would just be just so wrong and you just brought it home anyway? Or
Mm.
and like you just said, what the hell? I'm just gonna do something and see what happens anyway.
Oh, I think it's like that most of the time. It's like, well, you never know what you're getting into with them. That's for sure.
Very
And
good.
sometimes they can be surprising.
Yeah, they
Uh,
can. A-
mm.
And then do you get there when you connect? I know I'm saying this again. Do you feel their energy is off, or are their energies on point, or would it be just like, okay, this energy is okay and it's fine, and do you get like sort of
Well, just like with this girl that I was talking about, I have a feeling that there's something a little on the
yeah.
not right side with her. I
Yes,
think I'm gonna find out something interesting with her. So I guess yes, I do kind of get a feeling what they might be like.
yes,
Yeah.
very good.
Sometimes I can tell that it's a very loving and sweet, childish kind of energy, and but other times, like I said, they can be deceptive, and I don't know till I'm actually into it.
It's true. And did you, I know I'm saying, did you ever get a doll which um just just said, okay, I'm just gonna be I'm not gonna give anything away, or they're just
Oh yeah. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they'll just shut down and they don't want to share anything with me or very little. And I've had that happen and then I've gone back later and they've opened up. So
Wow.
yeah, that does happen sometimes.
Wow. And how long would that happen for, or would it just be like, just say, okay, just a day, or just a few hours?
No, it's more like weeks sometimes.
Hmm.
And then maybe something will happen. Sometimes they'll move a little bit on the shelf when they're interested more. Like, I'll know that I had kind of left her like that, and I'll come back, and she's very much
She
like that.
moved. She moved to
And
stop.
and
Yeah.
then it makes me think, oh, did you have something you'd like to say to me? So
Oh.
then sometimes I'll take them back down and ask them again.
Okay.
Same thing, sometimes they'll when they're trying to get your attention with things, they have something to say to you.
Okay, so our 40 minutes is up because this is going to
Oh,
cut off,
so fast.
but I would love to have you back again. I
Yeah.
absolutely, I'm so grateful for you to come on and share ghost doll experiences is absolutely incredible. And I appreciate you so much from coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. I loved it. I had a good time.
Yes. Thank you very much for sharing your
All
experience. I
right.
appreciate it so
All
much.
right. Talk
Thank
to
you
you
very
soon.
much. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.